Yo, we are live. What's up? All right, we are going to be doing some web dev, portfolio, and resume reviews. So let's go ahead and shout this out in Discord, and we will jump into it. Music's a little bit higher today, but so is my mic. So let me know if the balance is off. But yeah, we're going to jump right into this. We have 5 reviews today. 1 resume, 1 portfolio. We had a lot more submissions, but a lot didn't pass virus checks, malware checks. That was a lot we had to weed out. And then we're only going to be doing aspiring developers today as well, so brand new developers. Hey, what's up, Jessa? All right, announcements. Nope, content. All right, I'm live to review some portfolios and resumes. Live on YouTube, reviewing some portfolios and resumes, and we'll post a link, and we're good. Firm. All right. What's up, Miles? All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. Let me grab this link. All right. Here we go. Daniel Santos. All right. So he is trying to aim for full stack, so he's probably spread a little bit thin. But we shall see. So full stack developer. Why is this blinking? What's the point of this? Get rid of this. It's just distracting. Like, you're actually putting focus. So one thing you want to keep in mind is you want to truly understand where that focus needs to be drawn and kind of just the flow of the user behavior. And you basically, like, it seems like this is your most important information since this is at the top of your website, and then you have some random blinking thing that's arbitrary, meaningless, distracting the user from reading this. So either this is worthless or this needs to go. Full stack developer with an engineering background. Hi there, I'm a budding full stack developer with a mechanical engineer background. Engineering, I'm driven to success and keen to get involved in projects which extract the best of my skill set. This is worthless. You want to build stuff that you know? Take a look below at some examples of my work, then reach out to me via my contact handles below. Okay. This is unique. Name. I guess. Why? Like, if you're gonna post a picture, just post a friendly picture of you smiling to the camera. Like, make it personal. This doesn't seem very personal. Driven to success, keen to get involved in. Yeah, that's close to worthless. I like the blend of mechanical engineering background, budding. I don't know if I'd include the word budding. But, like, honestly, at this point, it might just save a lot of people time because before it was a little bit easier to kind of convince people that you're worth it culturally, and then they're like, oh, you're a brand new developer, and it's... But I think a lot of people are wasting way too much time applying to positions that are actually looking for professional developers, so I'm not completely against putting, like, full stack developer here and then budding here. If people kind of want to read into it. I don't know what I think about that. There we go. That's a person. Look at the camera. Where are you looking? Stop trying to be creative. Just smile for the camera. What's up, Mahan? I'm assuming that blinking looks like that's the typing space and someone's typing him, but it does look kind of awkward. I think he's trying to be too creative with that, if that's the case. Okay, so make, break, fix, create. A developer with an engineering mindset. I've always wanted... You have the about me here. You don't need 2 about me's. You should probably pick like 1 or 2 of the most important things and replace the meaningless stuff here. Like, that's fine if you want to put your tech stack. A recruiter's probably going to be looking at it. I wouldn't expect a recruiter to memorize the logos. You might actually want to spell it out. But, I mean, you could have the tech team look at this, but essentially, like, just spell it out. You could put the logos on the side. But yeah, like, these two sections should probably go together. At this point, no one's going to give a shit about this. They don't even know what you can do with your projects. Like, if you really want to, and they look at your projects, and then you scroll down and you put your About Me down here, sure, I could see that, but you're talking about yourself way too much. Combine this in a wonder, stuff that below. Projects and past work, an ever-growing list. Song inspiration generator. Okay, you have images. I like it. Different images, live demo. Does this go to... Okay, it opens in a new tab. I'm assuming all these buttons do. Contrast is a tiny bit poor, but it's not terrible. I wonder what would happen if you lighten this. Well, looks better here than here. I don't know if it's because of the white background. Maybe it's just because of the thickness of this font. I don't know. It's not terrible. I'm being picky. Retro play, so you built a game. Let me actually read this. Song idea generator is for all the music producers out there who have hit the dreaded creative block. Just choose some genres, and SIG will give you song inspiration for the tile. I would, the song idea generator. Gotcha. I would put in parentheses, like a lot of people are going to be reading it even faster than I'm reading it, just to like get through. Okay, what the hell is this? Interesting? No? Yes. I would actually assume, like make it easy. Put parentheses SIG to show that you're going to be using the abbreviation below. That's a common way to show that. Because then I think like song generator, I'm like music producers, blah blah blah, and then I see this, and I'm thinking this is like focused on some music terminology, and like that's just me reading through this quickly, but like expect recruiters to read through it quickly. Expect, especially if you have tech team reading through it, like just expect them to read through it quickly and don't make them think at all. Backend functionality is hosted on Flask on Python with session management on Redis. The app makes use of the Spotify API. Okay, external API. This seems like, you know, your capstone, your big project that you care about. This is awesome. Like, again, if you can have some sort of analytics of a user base behind this, if you have people using this, that's fantastic. Good point on... What's up, Northern Chim? Good point on the recruiter possibly not knowing logos. Yeah, I wouldn't expect them to. Because sometimes you get a recruiter that's like tech, they hire for tech, not necessarily specifically for software engineering or specifically for that stack. The name of the game, Retro Play. You like this name? Does a tech matter if the recruiter can't recognize the logo? Yes. Why would a recruiter need to recognize the logo? They don't. That's irrelevant to them. They just need to know the name of the tech that the team is hiring for. Retro game system. Source code. Where's the live? There's no live for this? What platform is this on? This project is still in progress. Got it. Python Pygame. Okay. And so this, I'm assuming this is really your big highlighted project. Anti-lock braking system. I developed an anti-lock braking system for implementation of Formula Student Car. The program was written in C++. System response time was minimized through use of programming of best practice. That's an interesting project. Hardware implementation was not possible due to the onset of the pandemic, but simulated results showed a 2% lap time reduction. That's a unique project. Okay, this seems like a weaker project. You have nothing to really show. You have the source code. That's something, but it'd be really cool to see. Like, even just a video for something like this to provide some sort of visualization and give people a feel for kind of what it does is fantastic. I wonder if you could recreate this with your own car at home, or, you know, pandemics, like we're past a pandemic, so maybe you can redo that, but maybe this is kind of just like a one-shot thing, maybe a hackathon thing, a student project, who knows. But yeah, this is probably one of your weaker projects. Small projects, Next, actually, I wouldn't say this is necessarily a weaker project, but compared to this, you would have to almost like kind of have a niche team that solves a similar problem to this, or using a similar stack to what you used with this. And I would even mention, did you mention? Oh, program was written in C++. Okay. Smaller projects, Next.js drum machine. Okay. JavaScript calculator, really many projects. I guess, like, at least show, I mean, you put Next.js. Wow, these are really small projects. So you can show exposure to that. I actually like the idea of including a small project that includes, you know, whatever framework you're trying to be marketable with, having some exposure to Next.js when, you know, local companies are hiring for it. That can be good, but you got to look at your local area. Contact, social links. Okay, mail to and LinkedIn. Gotcha. I'm assuming that this opens up in a new tab. LinkedIn, GitHub. Okay. I mean, it's a pretty clean portfolio overall. Really curious to see what you do with this. It seems like your stack is split a bit, right? It seems to have a little bit more of a Python focus, and you have like one random C++, then you dive into Next.js and JavaScript. Like, this seems like a really weak JavaScript skill set. So I think this is probably going to be a very weak front end. I would assume that you're just going to be crappy with JavaScript. So this seems like a little bit more of a back-end focus. And so I would consider that and continue exploring, continue building your game, and then build something else once you finish your game. Or continue building on that game if you just want to build on it. But understand that, you know, like, when you dive into building a game, it's a little bit harder for a lot of software engineers to be able to relate that to the business problems they face in a lot of their apps. So you can make the game work, especially if you can show complexity that's going to bridge that gap into a professional software engineering position at that company you're applying to. But either way, you have to make that decision whether you want to double down on this or spend more time with this. But this is continuing project work. But this is a little bit more of a back-end heavy portfolio. Yeah. What do you guys think? We'll look at mobile too. Slippery Sneck. Is that... Did I miss something? What? Oh. Okay. That's what you're talking about. So it has multiple games in it? Is that what it is? Little project designed to be an emulation of a retro arcade machine. I didn't even read it. Like, actually read it. With Snake, Space Invaders, Retro Helicopter. It is built in Python with Pygame. That's pretty cool. That's interesting. That's going to be nostalgic, for sure. But, you know, if you're a full-stack developer, you really only have one Python project, and you have, like, a weak JavaScript project. It seems... I'd be very curious. So, again, you want to do research into kind of the local big city that's hiring near you, and be curious, you know, what company's hiring. This kind of seems like you have a bunch of surface-level knowledge and not a lot of projects to really reinforce a lot of those concepts. So I would expect at least someone in the tech team to think this... You don't really have a lot of depth of knowledge necessarily, and a lot of companies right now are trying to hire for their stack. They're trying to onboard as quickly as possible if they're ever going to consider someone that doesn't have professional experience. But... You know, like, having an engineering background, especially, like, I'd be interested to hear if you had professional experience with this and not just like a graduate. What does it mean when people say recruiters just skim through resumes for keywords rather than reading it? With the keywords be technical? Luke, we're going to focus on kind of what we're talking about here. Just because I want to get through all the projects. Yes, and if you do like the live stream, please do like the live stream. I appreciate that, man. Seems like the anti-lock project demos has his engineering side, since he talks about that in an intro, but would be cool to see it fleshed out more and show more full stack dev. Yeah, This doesn't, like, he seems like he's experimenting, he's getting curious, but he's diving into different languages, and he doesn't have a lot of projects to show, which makes me feel like he has just surface level knowledge. Now, submissions are closed. All right, so let's check out mobile. All right. Let's go all. We're going to do empty cache, hard reload. It's a pretty clean layout. That's a little small on mobile. I wonder if I would expand that. That feels small on mobile. You're going to get some button or... what's the term? You're just going to, like, press the wrong buttons with your thumb on accident. Like, these are too condensed on mobile. Daniel Santos, full stack developer. Yep. So this is at 75%. We're not even at 100. Oh, I can actually. What am I doing? 13. Holy shit, that is small. You are showing that you do not know mobile users at all. That is. You might as well consider that unreadable on mobile. Bump it up to 16. And yeah, same. In terms of like the order of the content, if you even want to include both of these, I would the same advice that I gave on desktop, I'd give on mobile. And these buttons are small. Like, you're really showing me that you don't understand mobile users. This feels like a very weak front end portfolio. Very weak. Yeah, man, the contrast is even poorer with it shrunken that much. Damn. Source code. Let's get in touch. Yeah, this is so small. This is a horrible experience for mobile users. Let's go. Whoops. Network. What's up, JJ? How you doing? Okay, size. Is your picture really that big? What's the resolution? Holy, why do you need a 2,250 by 2,250 on the image? What? This image? Yo, my Mac is zoomed in all the way. You need a 2,250 pixel by 2,250 pixel for this image. So that shows you don't really care about optimization of images or kind of the struggles that, again, mobile users are going to face, or people with a shady connection. Again, very weak for front end. I would say very weak for front end and full stack, where you're going to be doing some front end work. Let's see. Yeah, let me do a empty cache, hard reload. So reduce, provide an image with a lower resolution. Don't go more than what you need. I don't think you necessarily need to, pull up an image that is a lower ratio, or just kind of a lower size just for mobile. I think that's a bit overkill for this website, but not putting things that are unnecessary, like a huge image. I'd be very surprised why you would need something like that. But also, once you do reduce that size and replace that image, you also want to run it through like tiny PNG, and that'll reduce the size even more. It's fantastic. I think this one's a whole... What the... No. Hold on. Oh, I thought it was like... Never mind. I thought it was way bigger than what it was. Okay. I thought it was like megabyte. I'm losing it. But yeah, same with these. I would question like how big of an image you actually need for these. And then run it through tiny PNG. Miles, hold up with that though. I don't want to promise that for the next 5,000. I might want to do something else. But yeah, so I think I want to be careful about some of the commitments I make. And we'll just say like our last portfolio review was at 40,000 and there's no promise for anything like that. But yeah, I know I did previously say every 5,000, but I think I want to change that up a little bit because I might offer like a private one-on-one session, stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, all is well, JJ. Life is good, man. How have you been? Bigger to smaller is easier, but yeah, optimization is important. Bigger to... Yeah, it's easier. You are right. It is easier. I was wondering something, if you did a portfolio review of someone with a back-end focus, how would you evaluate their work? Basically, you could just go back and review this. But I kind of gave advice on kind of what made this a little bit more back-end focused. But yeah, it's a big it depends. But JJ, I would actually go ahead and rewind this live stream because I think you missed a chunk of it. And this will remain public, by the way, so you can do that. All right, so that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else. Cool. Thank you for your submission. But yeah, continue working on those projects. You have that one game project, and depending on the type of company you want to apply to, you want to see if that really maps to the type of company position you want to apply to. Yeah, no problem, JJ. And of course, it's going to take a little bit more digging into their actual projects, which we don't do on these portfolio reviews, because then we got to dig into the code, blah, 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 in the specific projects. So it requires a little bit more depth. All right. I'll save the resume for last. All right, let's go. So let's do desktop. Blah, blah, blah. We'll do hard. Nope. Fine. Some of it's cache. I like seeing how long it takes with the hard reload. I'm scrolling. That takes way too long. Why is that taking so long? What? Seriously? I can scroll a little bit more, but you're finding that I'm breaking your website. This is broken. Like, what the fuck is this? This is straight up, like, what? There's a I think it's just a space. Oh, now, yikes. Okay. Seems like that's a bit faulty, that functionality. You're going to have to play around with different resolutions. All right, so what is this? Oh, okay, the inversion. About me, projects, newsletter, blog. Okay. Productivity tips book. Gotcha. I'd be curious how many people signed up for that. And then blog. Goes to your Medium articles. Okay. I mean, this is... You could really take it... I don't think Medium gets a lot of traffic unless you bring these Medium articles traffic. I highly suggest people look at the... I highly suggest people look at the... just building your blog into your website and bringing a little bit more organic traffic in. You could make it really interesting. But... that's fine. Passionate, enthusiastic, lifelong learner. Click to find more about me. I'm interested in coding, programming positions. You're a developer. You, what's up? Welcome. You are a software engineer, right? You're not interested in coding, programming positions. Like, you're a software engineer, or you're a front-end developer. You're a back-end developer. Actually, what do you put? Full stack? Guys, you're spread too thin. I don't like the fact that you even have your portfolio on GitHub pages or Git pages. Like, this tells me you are an extremely amateurish full stack developer, and I don't think you're going to be taken seriously. Like, you want to aim for a full stack position, you can't even host your own website, right? Like, I would argue for a full stack developer, you should lean on something that's a little bit more sophisticated than something like Heroku, like an easy deploy. And, like, you put it on Git pages? This just looks unprofessional. And this kind of just signals that maybe you don't really even know how to set up any sort of cloud hosting. Like I highly recommend, if you're going like full stack, back end, really try to spin up an Amazon container. Just, what do they call it? Like an EC2 instance or something like that is the, I don't know. I get the name switched up, but like spin up some sort of cloud hosting because that's probably going to be one of your tasks, or you're going to lean into that at some point in your position. But yeah, it just feels like a lot of, kind of just from what I'm hearing, a lot of hiring managers and recruiters are going through a lot of different websites where they're just so amateurish and they don't really have a lot of depth of knowledge, or the knowledge is spread too thin. Like that's been a big problem with trying to sift through all these developers that are just trying to build a few projects and get a job. I've been writing about what I have learned on my coding journey. Read about your blog. I would argue your portfolio. Where the fuck is your portfolio? Portfolio website. What? This is like, you just have a one page. Do you have a whole new page for your projects? Is that necessary with 6 projects? About me? What, hold on, what is the flow of this? I am James. Welcome to my portfolio website. Okay. I'm a passion. This just feels meaningless. I'm interested in coding / programming positions. Click here to find out why. I don't think people give a shit at this point. I really think people need to more seriously consider presenting their projects sooner. And then I have to click here. I mean, this is another portfolio link. But you show your blog posts on your home page. Atomic habits, learning to code, identity, and beliefs. Setting goals and how to achieve them. That's not really speaking to you being a developer. Atomic, like what? Atomic, what the fuck does this even mean? This is worthless to me. Embedded Medium blog on your website. You're a full stack developer that needs some sort of embedding for the blog. Why not just build your own CMS? That's an interesting, that's somewhat more interesting. I think you're putting too much emphasis on, like, if you had like stronger technical opinions or opinions on conventions, or even just like, I don't know, it feels like you're focused on the wrong things if you're trying to highlight these blog posts as like your main thing on your homepage. This feels like a very weak homepage, but projects are what matter. So, Panagram Land. This is cut off. Could you have zoomed out or something? What this, like the, I have to click more info. Land is an original word game, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, unscramble word. Okay, this is your most impressive project. Movie database, this is kind of like a to-do list, I'd argue. Wordle. Okay, you like building games. You have a to-do list. Weather dashboard. These are team profile builder. What's that? Team profile generator is a backend node command line application that takes in user information to build software engineering team. To build a software engineering team, then generate CSS-styled HTML document displaying information on team members. Record a video. Do like a GIF or something like that. Like, this screenshot is kind of meaningless. I can't even recognize, like, this is all unreadable. Do a GIF and show like an animation with this. I think that'd be cool. Okay. This feels like definitely a weaker portfolio. Pretty basic games. Pretty basic stuff. I don't think your designs necessarily need to look great, but this is the trouble. So when people say full stack, what a lot of hiring managers are probably going to consider is like, you have a lot of surface level knowledge. You built pretty basic stuff. Like a movie database is just a CRUD app. This is just a basic game. Basic game, a to-do list, basic weather dashboard. Everyone builds a weather dashboard, team profile builder. This could be interesting, leaning a little bit more heavily on backend, but it seems incredibly unimpressive. And what the fuck is a team profile builder? Like, what does that even mean? What's the purpose of this, right? Is there any project that you like truly want to build and just double down on? Because it just feels like a lot of surface level projects are projects where I don't even know if I should give a shit about. Like, if they are really going to translate into... This could represent that you are a little bit more comfortable with the command line, potentially, but I don't even know. Because I don't even know what it produces. But if you're not good with design, this is actually, and I think you did this fairly well. I mean, the contrast is okay. Looks like, oh, okay, never mind. It's shrinking it when I hover over it. You kept it very minimal, right? You didn't go hard with the design. You didn't focus too much on it. Maybe this style, this color theme works for you. Like, you just kept the design really minimal, and I think a lot of front-end developers should consider doing that, because I think your project can still be impressive even if it has a minimalist design and the contrast is good. And, you know, accessibility is good. HTML element, like, you are actually using proper HTML elements to represent different things that should use those elements. I mean, you have the languages, you have more info. I don't know. This feels like I'd be very curious to hear, like, if you're aiming more for front end or back end. HTML, CSS, jQuery, so you don't even have a back end. You're using some external API. Wordle was server, React. You don't really have any. Doesn't seem like you have any impressive React projects. This is just okay. You're pulling from external. So, like, if I could have some advice for you if, like, you were really focused on front end. I could have some advice for you if you were really focused on back end. But this portfolio kind of seems split, and it feels like you don't really have any depth of experience with your projects whatsoever. I don't think you've solved any sophisticated problems with what you've built here. You kind of just seem like another templated surface level knowledge aspiring developer. And so I'd double down and focus on something. Like, what the hell do you want to build? What kind of problems do you want to solve? Because even the projects that you're building, they're different. Even though a lot of them are surface level, they're very different. But, like, what the hell do you care about? What kind of problems do you want to solve? Right? That's just a feeling I'm getting from this. Anyways, what do you guys think? Let me catch up with chat a little bit. You have a feeling that the site wouldn't do well on mobile? We will check it out. Yeah, we'll definitely check it out. What's on the find out why? Where was that? Oh. Find out why? What am I looking at here? Is this broken? Why is this... What the hell just happened? Why do I have to scroll through this? What was the... Expand it. There's no reason to have to scroll... I don't think this was a conscious decision that you made. I think this was an accident. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, and I think you just added an extra CSS property, or I don't know what you did, but this doesn't seem very practical to make the user have to scroll through this. That's fairly irrelevant. I'm committed to enthusiastic lifelong learning. That's just a given, but you... is this misaligned? What the hell? I think you just, like, you're truly showing that you are terrible with CSS. And so I don't think it's going to be a strong portfolio for front-end positions. You don't really have any complicated JavaScript projects. I'd be curious about the complexity of some of your Node projects, but I would go back and just... Why does it, like, cover the text like this? What's the point of that? You're just making it more so I have to always mouse over. So what happens even if I accidentally go out a little bit, I can't scroll anymore, but I just don't see the purpose of covering this up. I have a number of interests and hobbies. That is worthless. What hobbies? What interests? So you could bring hobbies, you could bring interest and provide kind of a unique blend into like you as a person, right? Your personality, what the hell you care about. But this is the most generic statement you could make. Okay, just include this. I got it. See, this is what's confusing, is because I'm not expecting to have to scroll down to see like really basic outline of you. Just get rid of this. You have a header that's literally taking up this entire block. Just get rid of it. I love playing the guitar, cycling, reading. But I see, that's where I don't even think this page makes sense. I'm friendly, hardworking, positive, and sociable. Like, your references can share that, I think. Actually, no, your professional references, at least with your... I don't know. Players are limited on the questions they can ask. And I forgot the limitations. I should know this because I had those limitations when I was hiring in aquatics. And I still... It was a long time ago, though. And this page literally is more painful to read than it's worth. Honestly, get rid of it. Like, showcase your personality through your blog or your project. Like, I wouldn't say project, but like your blog. You might have interesting blog posts that say a little bit more about you. I don't know, but this page is just... I think it's hurting you way more than it's helping you. I just get rid of it altogether. Put your projects here and your blog posts. You could have a section of like maybe a little about you. What are really important things about you? Are you blending your old industry in with you becoming a software engineer? Do you have a hobby that like you really like building apps for that hobby? Is there anything unique that you can blend into software engineering that also makes you unique from outside of software engineering? That's something useful to put. Is there anything interesting about you besides like I play guitar? So I would consider and be very critical about what you're going to put for your about me. But why not just like place your portfolio projects here and your blog posts? You could highlight your top 4 or something. I don't care. But like portfolio projects and blog posts. And then if they want to see more portfolio projects, you load more. I think load more is a good option. That's a good option right there. But yeah, I don't even think you're highlighting projects that are going to tell the employer much about you. So, but this can be really good if you're bringing organic traffic in and you have a blog on your website. This embedding, you are willing to spend time to build up your self-branding, to build a blog, and that's interesting, right? But you literally take away the benefits of the SEO and you push that to Medium, which doesn't really get a lot of traffic unless you bring traffic or you're popular, or like Medium doesn't necessarily bring you a lot of traffic. Very little, in fact, from what I've seen from most people. And so you're just shooting yourself in the foot by not having organic content on your website with your blog, because that's huge. You're shooting yourself in the foot with that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do mobile. What a funky song. What's up, Billy? CSS is hard. Yep, that can be tricky. That scroll breaks my brain. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. If it makes sense, fine. But you really need to think about that. You truly need to think about that. If you're going to be touching on the front end at all, that UX is going to be important. And why you have to... And I would even just try different things. Like, try it with a scroll, try it without. Have your family use your website and navigate through it. And tell them to be critical. What is frustrating? On this page, what is frustrating for you? What seems out of place, right? That is more valuable than people realize. And people won't even do that. They won't even introduce it to their friends or family or connections or anything like that to get feedback. Or, the feedback they get is, which is why I do these. It's not to... I'm really not trying to be mean. It's because I know most of you don't get any feedback like this. And it's just like, oh yeah, I really like this. You could, make the links a different color. You could include a picture about you, right? Like that's not feedback with any depth. So keep in mind, when I review these websites, I give people a heads up. I'm very critical of it for a reason because I want them to actually receive this feedback and make changes. Is this a Chrome bug or no? I'm going to be generous and do the SC and assume that's kind of just a DevTools thing. Okay, I'm scrolling all the way down and I still have this blank space. That is ridiculous. I should not have to scroll down that much. Expect the user to just click out. I'm assuming it's broken. Fuck this website. You are giving the user way too much. You're giving the user way too much. What do I want to call it? You're giving them the benefit of the doubt. Like they're going to be patient with you. They're not going to be patient with you at all. They're going to say, fuck this website. Home, about me, projects, newsletter, blog. Only a lowercase me. With the font, I just feel like it should be a lowercase me. That's preference, by the way. Not necessarily something you should change. Okay, I'm passionate, blah, blah, blah. Man, it takes... Oh, that's frustrating. Yeah, like, especially on mobile that I gotta scroll through. Like, I'm actually... I'm taking my thumb and I'm pulling it up and, like, nothing's moving on the page. Like, get the fuck past this. This is worthless. And I still can't even get past it. That's a frustrating experience. Looks like it's aligned a little bit more to the right. I don't know. But test this on your mobile device. Again, sometimes we just hit Chrome tool bugs, and it's a little bit difficult sometimes to figure out, okay, can I not scroll? It's broken. I can't... Wait. I was scrolling. Okay. What is your font size? No! Okay. 15? 16. Bump it up to 16. Just do 16 minimum on mobile. I'm telling you, like, the more we dive into technology, the more people's eyesights are just going to be gone. I'm telling you, bump it up to 16 on mobile. Don't do 14. None of that crap. If you have, like, really unimportant information, I don't even know why you'd put it on the page. Just do 16. Atomic Habits. What else? Holy shit, are you kidding me? Okay. If you say, I'm telling you right now, if you tell me you're aiming for full stack and your website, the responsiveness is just like almost non-existent, that is a red flag. Holy shit, that is a red flag. It's gotta be there's no way the responsiveness is this bad. Like, I'm thinking you just screwed up. Coding, like, and you're talking about a newsletter, you put that on your website, but I'm telling you, you are sleeping on putting your blog post on your website. That organic traffic is fantastic. And a lot of times it won't build up. It really won't build up in the search engines for like many, many months. But if you're going to be consistent with your blog, you are sleeping on that by not putting that content on this website because you have a newsletter here, which like lead people into the newsletter. That's a fantastic flow, and you are sleeping on that. This seems a little misaligned. My hunch was right on mobile. Yeah, it looks fairly broken. I would have converted that nav setup into a hamburger menu. I think the same issue exists on Firefox. What issue are you talking about, though? But yeah, that's actually another thing. The links look really weird here. Just put a hamburger menu. Like, stop. I think they're trying to be creative, so they're not all bunched up. I don't even know if these are links. I just see a bunch of text and then more text. Then it becomes more and more irrelevant as I scroll through, and then I get more frustrated. Okay, where the fuck is the projects? Okay, blog posts. These titles don't really matter. Like, I don't know. I'm having to do way too much on this mobile experience. Let's look at projects, and we'll look at the network tab. Panagram Land, the movie database, Wordy with server. You see a little bit more padding. Seems like everything's stuffed together. I'm curious why you put the more info in between these. Why not? Usually you're going to line it. You'll have two separate buttons, same height. Doesn't necessarily have to be same width, but same height. But you're kind of creating a button here. And I would argue maybe you should get rid of this outline because it makes it look like a button. I click it, nothing even happens. Like, I click it and it shrinks. What? You shouldn't have any sort of animations that happen if no action is taken. This is worthless. And you're basically showing me that you don't know how to use animations, or you're kind of showing me, like, overall, when I get this experience, you're just showing me that you don't know how to create a good user experience at all, like, whatsoever. But you might consider, like, I think it's fine to change the font, and I think the font is still good. Your contrast is pretty good overall in terms of background color to the would you call it a foreground? But just like the text color on top of the background color. I think the contrast is okay. Not great, but okay. I think the yellow stands out a little bit more than this light blue on this green. But yeah, just stuff these buttons here, and usually you'll align. Well, see, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. Do you just put it underneath this, and then the more info button is below? In the center, even? That could be something. What the fuck is this? Okay. Can I even click out of it? Nope, it just enlarges that. So a common practice is to be able to... So I usually put like a shader, and I think that's a good common convention to put a little bit of a darker shade over this to show kind of you're in a modal, right? Because you start getting these lines that kind of blend together, and it doesn't look as much or feel as much like a modal. And yeah, okay, you know, I'm just gonna click out of it. I can't even do that. A common practice is to be able to click the side, and it actually exits out of the modal. And it's good because it gives you experience with click handlers and just stuff like that to be able to capture those events. It's kind of a tricky thing to deal with when you have a bunch of nested elements, and that's the being able to build a modal and show that you kind of understand that that's useful. But and we'll go close. Let's go network, and we're gonna do a hard refresh. Clears it. I think it clears it automatically, right? Yeah. Size. What the hell? Oh, fave icon. I don't even have a fave icon for my site. I think maybe I do finally, but I used to always forget that for my projects. Film. I'm gonna be generous and do this on desktop. Okay, film. This feels like a really large image just for this. Am I wrong with that? 13 by 900. Oops. This feels pretty large for that image. I don't know. Run it through Tiny PNG if you haven't already, and if you did, that's fine. I don't think the resolution is necessarily... Seems a little big. I think my resolution is like 1280, because I enlarge it for the stream. And not because my eyesight is going. Did I just try to wink? Hold on, can I wink? I feel like my wink was just broken there. Like I just glitched out. But yeah, I feel like that's a bit high of a... not a ratio, but it's just a bit high of a resolution. It's too big of a picture. This isn't going to be like 13. I don't know. Just always remember, I don't know how much this enlarges. Maybe... It probably... See, you even create cards out of it. So if this is the biggest that it gets, just make sure that you're providing no larger of an image for it. And then if you haven't already, run it through Tiny PNG. I'm telling you, when you run it through Tiny PNG, Tiny JPEG, it really... It's almost unnoticeable of the quality of the image, and it's well worth it. All right. Yeah, just a bit more work to do. Am I zoomed in? I am a little bit zoomed in, yes. I feel like there was not much user testing on this one, but hey, lots of feedback to digest and improvements to make. Exactly, yeah. Sometimes simpler is better. That is true. That is true. That was my question, why the more info buttons weren't aligned. Yeah, on desktop, I was thinking, like, this should be aligned with this, but now I'm thinking this isn't even a button, so that would be misleading. It would make this look like a button. I think like the real strategy is probably just like bump this up, put it right underneath. You could put a tiny bit of a smaller text if you want to differentiate it besides just the color, but take this box away. Stop making stuff look like buttons that aren't buttons. This stream will be posted late. Yeah, it'll remain public. Don, your applicable advice is so much more useful than just, I don't like this, even though you do say that things suck, but always explain why I love it. That's awesome. Yeah, hopefully I elaborate enough. I feel like I do. Can you share our portfolios here? No, we're not doing any more submissions. But yes, all announcements. If you want to know when I do this kind of stuff, I'll post it in the announcement for sure. Okay, cool. Next. If I do this again, I think I'm only going to do 5. We're literally almost an hour into this, and I'm telling you, these just take longer than I expect all the time. Okay. You guys ready for the next one? Let's do it. All right, Tony Lio, front-end developer and experimenter at heart. Interesting animation. Oh, this guy. Oh. Okay. View my work, rainbow mode. What? What does that even do? Oh. I think you're putting too much focus on this front page. Like, I don't, like, I don't think this interaction is enough to put a second button that looks like it has the same priority as View My Work, when View My Work is probably going to be your most important one. That's kind of interesting intro, though. I wonder if I'd just get rid of that rainbow thing. Tony, I'm a front-end developer with a passion of learning, creating, experimenting. I love the freedom of learning that programming offers. Incredible, blah, 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 blah. I'm currently learning 3JS for fun. Okay, that makes sense. So, you know, 3JS, I do think it's an interesting library, and I think being able to create animated experiences and just like leaning into canvas, there are companies that do that. There are companies that have websites like that, and so if that's what you want to lean into. That's like not a lot of people are going to dive into something like 3JS, so that's interesting. So if that's the kind of company you're applying to, I think that intro kind of makes sense, or it does make sense. I look forward to creating an awesome animations and visual effects outside of work. You're probably aiming for front end, right? Front end, yes. Okay. Outside of my work, I thoroughly enjoy exploring my creative side through drone photography, playing the piano. You have a YouTube video. Okay. I'm not going to load up any YouTube videos, but hopefully that creates a new tab when you open it up. And performing card magic. So I love building apps with language models like GPT-4 to push the limits. That's fairly interesting. A little bit niche, right? GitHub. I'll open up a GitHub link. Okay, that opens it up in a new tab. So I'm assuming all of your links that lead off your website do that. My projects, Claude Atlas. Yo! Okay, so I'm not going to play any videos. I'm tired of dealing with copyright shit. I'm not playing any videos. But one thing I noticed, you have a little bit of a GIF here. That's good. You did start going to your project. That's awesome. I actually think videos are very powerful. Claude Atlas makes travel planning a breeze. It transforms the traditional tedious travel planning. This feels like a professional project. This project not only won the Audience Choice Award at the Anthropic Hackathon, but also offered me invaluable insights into teamwork and collaboration. Learn more about our thought and design process. That is cool. On the left is a demo done by my awesome teammate Kevin, or Ken. Why'd I read Kevin? Features interactive decision making with fun travel ideas, visualization. You have a dev post, source. No live link, nothing like that. Can we use it? I don't know if someone's actually going to load it up, but a video can be pretty powerful if you don't have a live link to play around with it. Natural language prompting for easy itinerary changes, seamless Google. This is a pretty impressive project. That's interesting. And remember, this project looks good. I mean, like, you know, the interviewer is probably going to dig into it. If this is like your, you know, your passion project or your most impressive project, they're going to want to know what you were involved with specifically. But this still is going to catch the attention. I wonder if I would have like a screenshot of the app, because it looks like you have Google Calendar open. And I wonder if you start with a screenshot with this play button, that might be more impressive depending on how your project looks. But just seeing your face, it might be like, oh, I want to get to know, Tony. I want to get to know Tony. Oh, wait, no, that's not even you. Yeah, I just put a screenshot. Cover this Ken guy up. Who cares? Quizzical is a fun and engaging React-based quiz application. It generates personalized quizzes based on user input using OpenAI's GPT Turbo model. Yep, local storage is used. Yeah, I think you get like a better bang for your buck when you're using GPT Turbo, I think. Making it easy for users to track. Quizzical. I like the names. I think coming up with names for your personal projects is a great idea. Makes it look a little bit more professional. And sometimes those names can spell out exactly what problem it solves. AutoHotkey script collection, the language that got me hooked on coding back in 2019, allows what language? Instant Googler? What language? Put your stack. What language is this built with? Put the stack. Is it JavaScript, Python, etc.? Like, what is this built on? That's what I... Oh, wait, never mind. It's right here. Next.js, Cloud API, Redux. Wow, that contrast gets a little bit poor each time. Why do you have a shadow? I don't know if I'd separate it with a shadow. What would happen if you just have like a black line? Black borders. That shadow, it feels like it makes the reading a little bit harder. Because you don't really have padding here, too. I wonder if I put a little bit more padding. But I wouldn't make it more padding than your buttons. But I would increase the padding on your buttons. Love letter generator. You don't really have any projects with... Oh, there's more. AutoKey, love letter generator. Portfolio landing page. Skip to content for accessibility. Orbit controls with mouse, flowing 3D canvas. Okay. I don't know. I don't think you need to explain all this with the portfolio landing page. But I like that this seems to be... Oh, I was going to say that seems to be your only canvas project that you're showcasing. Space tourism. With great info and amazing sections, pictures, crew. Doesn't look like you used canvas at all. Because you list 3JS here. I thought this was going to be like a 3JS project where you could scroll and see space. But what to say? Personal language learning handbook. You have quite a few projects. They're interesting. You have a variety of decent looking projects that are interesting. Contact me. This is a pretty impressive portfolio. OpenAI API, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Seems like you haven't really leaned on React too much, and if you're going to be applying to front-end positions, I think I'm a little bit worried about your depth of JavaScript knowledge and your depth of React knowledge. That's what I'd be worried about. I think that 3JS is unique and interesting, and it can make you stand out for positions that are going to have that in their website, but usually it's a very small portion of it, and I wonder what project you're working on next, and if it doesn't use React, I would reconsider using React. But, you know, a strong JavaScript foundation with this amount of projects, solving this amount of problems, I think, you know, having only 2 projects with React, it's not necessarily about the number of projects. Quizzical feels like a little bit of a smaller project, and Claude is probably a little bit of a larger project, so that's why you're highlighting it. I don't know. This could be enough. Yeah, this could be enough. Contact. What do you guys think of it? Let me catch up with chat. Yeah, Jesse, no, we're not like advertising anything in here. Try to keep it on topic. We're just focusing on the projects we're reviewing. Maybe the accents and resume can be confusing for native English speakers. It seems like it could be. I was wondering about that. Maybe this person wasn't a native speaker? I don't know. Yeah, you're welcome, JT. I'm glad you enjoyed the review. Yeah, Jesse, I think you're coming off too hot and trying to advertise stuff. I think you, I don't know if you're involved in the Discord community, but like, if you want like your own portfolio reviewed, there is an option to do that and ask a question, but it sounds like you're just trying to advertise someone else's. And no, I think you're coming off like you're trying to lean into that a little bit too hard. Yeah, I feel like this is a fairly impressive portfolio for a new developer. Let's go mobile. Projects, contact. All right. I don't know, I think the buttons are a little bit small. You probably should stack them. Increase the width. I think the padding... I don't know. You might increase the height. I don't know. But these feel a little bit small for mobile. My projects, Claude, okay. Blah, blah, blah. Space tourism. I think this is 16, right? Yep. Awesome. Okay, let's check the network. Let's do a hard refresh. Welcome back, Chessa. All right. 1 megabyte for this? What? Do you really need this big of a picture? This feels extremely heavy, especially loading this up on mobile. If you're gonna do an image background, typically your image backgrounds aren't gonna be this large, right? What you might get is a little bit of a blend in from the size of the image into more of just a single color background that surrounds it on the left and right. But I feel like, yeah, this is way too big of an image. This is not mobile friendly at all. Yeah. Yeah, reduce that size. Just look at common sizes for image backgrounds and then run it through tiny JPEG. What's this? Yeah, you have another one that's really big. These are huge. Optimization over stuff like that all the time. Edit video, gotcha. And if you haven't, just run all of your images through JPEG, tiny JPEG or tiny PNG. Even for background images, the quality is gonna... most people aren't even gonna notice the difference, including you. That's a long load time, isn't it? 1.6, damn. I wonder if I would decrease the transition time to load that a little bit faster. 1.6 seems like a long load time for something really basic. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Any final thoughts about this? Any comments? Yeah. Tony has worked with a lot of stuff. That's what it seemed like. Nuxt.js is a framework. Actually haven't... I've looked it up a few times, but... Oh yeah, Vue. Build your next Vue application with confidence using Nuxt, open source framework under the MIT license. Yeah, it does feel a little bit weak with React. I'd be curious about like how much depth of knowledge. I think that's like my big concern with Tony is his depth of knowledge or lack thereof, possibly with React. Oh, you thought it was misspelled. Got it. I like it. Maybe I think a domain would make this look a lot more professional. I agree. Domains typically do. And you can get bundles. You can get deals. Look for Black Friday deals. You'll probably get some of those for Black Friday. Get some pretty good discounts. What's up? Welcome. Very visually pleasing. Honestly, contrast and alignment of everything looks great. Yeah, it is. I agree. Minor tweaks, and I think it's good, but some more focus like React or something is great, and this is something employers would look at. Yeah, I think they'll look at this anyways, and I think they're going to doubt the React knowledge. So it depends. Like, that's the thing, is it depends how much you've truly worked with React. It really depends on, with React here, usually when I just see HTML, CSS, JavaScript, they're typically like very low complexity projects. But I do think the big question is like, how much JavaScript do you know and how much React do you know? So there might be a little bit of a lack with that, but I think this is going to get some initial screenings for sure. Okay. Next portfolio. All right, let's load it up. All right, full stack JavaScript developer. I am Mohamed Zioua. I probably butchered that name. Passionate full stack JavaScript developer and blog writer. I live in Tunis, Tunisia. And remember, all my feedback, it's always based in the United States, and it'll expand into a lot of countries, but that's all I can guarantee is a lot of my feedback is based in the United States, and advice for getting a job, living in the United States, and applying for jobs in the United States. LinkedIn, GitHub, okay, opens up in a new tab. I'm assuming everything else here does. You have a context section. Looks like this is a one-page layout. Cool. Keep it simple. I think a lot of portfolios should be. I mean, if you have a blog or something like that, wait. You're a blog writer, but with no blog. Okay. Let's scroll. Full stack development. Man, this is so unreadable. Like, if you're going to go on desk, don't do this centered bullshit and like have your eyes now try to navigate to the next line. Now it's bumped up. Like, this is okay for mobile with short amount of text, but it's such a pain to read on desktop. Left align. I'm a strong believer in continuous. Okay, so I'm a full stack developer, 6 years of experience in sales, 1 year in programming. 1 year in programming? What do you mean by that? 1 year. Oh, wait, are you the person with an internship? Yeah, because I still decided to do this because I don't consider an internship as like, you know, full-time professional developer experience, because it's not. It is professional experience, but I'll still take people that do go through internships and stuff like that. Yes, internship. Got it. Okay. So 9 months. I think that's what was listed, or I don't know. Maybe I added that up wrong. Doesn't matter. Around 1 year. Things has led me to become proficient in various technologies: React, Node, Express, Mongo, TypeScript, full stack JavaScript developer role. Or I'm seeking full stack JavaScript developer role where I can use my skills, innovative, blah, blah, blah. A lot of filler text. I'm also eager to learn new technologies, quickly adapt. This is all worthless. Guys, do you know how many times employers and recruiters see this bullshit? It's just meaningless. Like, they're just, their eyes are glazing over. They're thinking about lunch, right? Lunch is coming up. They're thinking about how their coffee is wearing off. And they, like, you make them read this same generic bullshit. Like, guys, just stop. Nothing about that is unique. In spare time, I enjoy anime reading, spending time with my cat. I'm also a nature enthusiast and I love to explore new places. It'd be cool to see some pictures. I don't know. Not of your cat. Don't post. Never mind. I take it back. Don't post pictures of your cat. Don't do it. I'm a strong believer in continuous learning and always learning for new ways. Okay, this is just more bullshit. What's up, Sugar Slate? My projects, I've been actively involved in numerous academic projects and I've made significant contributions during my internship. Nevertheless, I take pride in myself. Okay, I don't. None of this. Just jump into your projects. Way too much text. Ziwi Shop. Ziwi Shop, an ambitious side project born out of the desire to master the art of building a robust dashboard. Okay, so it's Ziwi Shop is a robust dashboard and e-commerce platform built entirely from scratch. this, like I got to explore Mongoose integration or aggregations, seamless Mongoose aggregations. What do you mean by that? You use Mongoose with Mongo? Like what are you talking about? PayPal and straight payment gateways. Like when I think of an aggregation, I'm thinking of like aggregating data. What the fuck does that mean? PayPal and straight payment gateways, Google sign-in without relying on third-party packages. Okay. So your own custom Google social sign-in. Nice. Implementation of a rock-solid authentication and authorization. What did you say? I'm aiming for... Okay, so full stack. Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty legit full stack project. Looks pretty good. Live demo, I'm going to assume this... Did I already test this out? I did, right? Yeah, I'm assuming all these links will open up a new tab if they're going to an external domain. Why are these... Stop making animations. Guys, for the love of God, please stop making these animations. Stop making these things look like buttons. These are not buttons. There's no action to take on these. These are not, like... These animations aren't needed. That, like, you are just screaming out loud that you don't know what the fuck a button is. You are just screaming out loud that you are going to create frustrating experiences for the user because you don't even know how to interact, like really fundamental elements. Stop making buttons when they're not buttons. Stop creating animations when there's no use for that animation. Just stop it. Just stop it. I don't know who is sharing this information to give you this idea that you should be doing it. Stop it. Okay, so live demo, YouTube demo. Oh, that's pretty cool. I wonder if you could do an embed and just like have the video here. That'd be pretty cool. Yes, you should not be using CSS animations if there's no action that is going to happen from that. And you should not be making it buttons if it's not a button. What's up? Welcome. ZWE book, the motivation behind ZWE book. So you notice how I was changing some of the wording though, right? Obviously this is a personal project and you're not going to sell it as like a professional project, like a professional application that you built at a company or anything like that, when it's not. But you don't have to make it abundantly clear that this is, yeah, it's kind of a fun personal project and I built it from scratch. And like when you start that out, like, it's automatically just going to get recruiters and hiring managers to take your experience with this project less seriously. They will take it seriously, but the way you sell it matters. When you push it as a project that's like a real thing people use, like it's a real thing that you built for a business, it's a real thing, even if you didn't build for a business, if you built like a basic tool, right, that people actually use, just talk about the tool. Stop saying it's like ambitious side project. I think that actually goes a long way. Again, on your resume, you're going to list this as a project. You're going to list this, but you're not going to list it as like a professional company, a professional app that you built for an actual full-time developer position, right? Because you'll probably highlight something like that on your internship because you were working on a professional application. But yeah, like you can showcase your projects, your personal projects and they're going to have a lot of value. But you want to be careful about like how much text represents that it's just a side project. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Motivation behind ZWE book was to reinforce my understanding of web development concepts and technologies. Oh, okay. So this is where like this project is a little bit more impressive. This is just a clone project. I like if it's a clone project, list it as a clone project. That I agree with. I think that's that makes sense. But I would like ZWE book is basically just a Facebook clone, and then I like it's completely fine to list a project like this, just reinforcing a lot of you were learning new technologies, you were learning new concepts, right? And what concepts did you learn? And you have those listed down here. Is this created a Facebook clone not only because it was a well-known platform, but also because it offered a Okay, I thought I read it like you were actually adding new features to this. Revolution. Am I done? Revolutionizing travel with Finiti. my diploma thesis project at a boot camp. After mastering React, Angular, Vue, I ventured into the world of mobile apps with React Native. A month of conception, design, and Figma led to the creation of ultimate carpooling app, exploring tomorrow's travel today. Don't mention it's a bootcamp project. Like, I think clone projects are extremely low value in terms of, like, having those on your portfolio, specifically. Now, you know, if you're building a social app, or you're applying to, like, a social media company, that it's a little bit different, right? But in general, clone projects are pretty low value. But I don't think you need to list that it's a side project. I don't think you need to list that it's a coding bootcamp project, right? Clone project, again, just be blunt. Learning some new shit, and this is what I learned. But this, I wonder if this could be presented in a way... Is the music too loud? I feel like it's a little too loud. Maybe it's just with this song, actually. Month of conception and design and Figma led to the creation of... Okay. Be cool to see, like, your Figma design. YouTube demo. So it's not live? What is this? Mobile apps with React Native. Got it. Okay. Makes sense. You have a YouTube demo. That's good. No source code? Why not? I think that's going to be relevant. I would really try to get that source code linked if you can. What are you building next? Did you just finish this? Are you still working on it? Because I'd argue like one Facebook clone and then kind of a mobile app with React Native. I don't know if this is like really making you marketable for a full stack position. This seems a little bit empty for that, but it depends on how complicated ZWE Shop is, how much you continue to build on it. Do you have a user base behind it? Like, my skills, I am just, I'm gonna say it really softly. Stop turning things into buttons that aren't buttons. Skill tools. I mean, soft skills, critical and creative thinking, process improvement. Like, do this through a blog post or something. Like, a company isn't going to trust that you have these soft skills. They're going to test you on this. They're going to hear your experience. Like, this is kind of worthless. You're just wasting space with this. Get rid of this. Skill tools. By the way, this song's fire. More buttons. Okay. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, React, Next, Node, Git, Material UI, Prisma, MongoDB. And you have Mongoose with that. MySQL, Redux, SQLize. Really? You don't know all this shit. You have 3 projects. You came out of a coding bootcamp. You don't know all this shit. You have exposure to most of this. This feels like, again, if you're going to list these technologies like this, I don't know. I think you're full of shit. I think you're going to have Google Chrome. Really? Okay, just get, that's why you're filling this up. You're filling it up with a bunch of like VS Code. Who cares? Google Chrome. Who cares? Figma. Sure. Rational Rose. I have no idea what that is. Compass, MongoDB. Okay, that's fine.
Hey, listen.
Thanks for the awesome content.
Yo, Deep Dish. Thanks so much for the $2 donation, man. I appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying the content. Thank you, thank you. Cool. Most people, when they donate, they don't even include a message, so I appreciate you including a message. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess, fine. I think it's more relevant on the resume anyways to, like, distinguish between proficient and kind of, like, your secondary, like, stuff you've had exposure to. I just feel like you're just trying to stack this, and you're gonna create false expectations with the employer. You're gonna waste their time. You're gonna waste your time. If you're really gonna list everything out like this, maybe put proficient and like exposure to or anything like that. Curious about kind of implies that you haven't even really used it. Experienced full stack JavaScript developer. Enjoyed my summer internship, working as a full-time your summer internship. Oh, completed a 6-month internship. Okay, so a different one. Gotcha. So you have 2 internships. Interesting. A student, I guess. Kind of like the quick animation with a pop-up. The website looks pretty clean. It does look good. The design is good. And I'm like, when I think purple, I think Twitch, I think live streaming. So I'm just a big fan of this color style as well. So I might be a little bit biased in favor. But yeah, I think that's fine. Overall, it's a pretty impressive portfolio. And I think it's going to come a little empty when you're trying to sell all of these technologies. So I'm curious what your next project is or if you're doubling down on this. So that's the desktop version. What do you guys think of it? So if your project is something you've done for a university course, you shouldn't mention that. No, not necessarily. I think it's just going to be a weaker project. But it depends on the project, and it depends on the type of companies you're applying to as well. But yeah, if it's like a tutorial-based project, clones, stuff like that, usually it's low value. I don't know what I said, but you are welcome, Sugar Slate. I'm glad I realized front end is something not for me. Back end all day for me. Okay, nice. I always find listing JavaScript before HTML and CSS to be appealing. If you're stronger with it, yeah. I mean, like, I feel like if you're applying to front end, HTML and CSS is kind of expected. I mean, so is JavaScript, I guess. I don't know. I don't think skills on a portfolio when you have no blog and you're a blog writer, but there's no blog posts. Like if you're not bringing organic traffic in from search, then I think this section is kind of irrelevant because you're probably going to apply with your resume with your skills. And really, they just want to see your portfolio projects. Oh, sorry, did I miss? Don, multiple people notice this is a template. Does it matter? Will recruiters even notice? Ideally, I think a full stack or front end would design and code their own. Oh, is this? Let me scroll up a little bit. I know I missed some chat. Where? You claim mastery of something? Yeah, don't ever claim mastery of anything. It just makes you look ignorant at all. Like, don't even use the word mastery especially as a new developer. Don't do it. Like, if you have 10 years of experience in a language, sure, whatever. But where? You're good, Lanchanos. Are you sure this is a template? How do you figure this is a template, Jessa? Fire Wizard? Nice. Just don't say you're master of, like, any language or framework. That's just stupid. Like, people are just going to look at you like you're an idiot. Like, you're just ignorant. You're not humble. You're arrogant. Like, don't call yourself a master in anything in programming. Just don't do it for many, many, many years. It's like that one piece of advice that'll carry with you throughout most of your career. Right when you brought up the portfolio, Miles and Ernie, and someone else said, hey, they recognize it. Oh, gotcha. Is it a paid one? Do they have permission? That's interesting. So is it Material UI, built with React and Next, TypeScript, Material UI, and V5 CSS, Framer Motion, React Emailer? Was this like a free... Got it. Yeah, I agree with you, JJ. I don't think you should use the word mastery. But I'd be curious, is this like a template that is free? I think it's fine to use a template. I think it's fine to use a template. Just be upfront about it. Like if they ask, did you come up with this design? Like it looks really nice, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's actually a template. You know, for my portfolio, I just wanted to make it look nice and clean, and I like the design of it. Like, I think that's fine. But if he just kind of like stole the template, I don't know if he paid for it. Like, at the very least, it might go a long way to link the template. I think that would show some integrity. I don't think it's necessarily like a lack of integrity if you don't show it, but if this is a very common template and they don't even link the design, this feels like you're kind of just ripping a template. Should you only include tech skills that are intermediate in? You have some comprehensive. Just be ready to be tested hardcore in it if you list a skill. Material UI is a component-based UI. Yep. So for your portfolio specifically, I think a template is fine. In fact, I think you can build your portfolio with a WordPress theme. I think it's one of the most uninteresting things about you, and I think your projects are going to speak volumes. Portfolio isn't an interesting project to solve, but if you are just ripping a template, that's going to look really bad for you. But yeah, I actually think it's a pretty good idea if you use a different template to put the design underneath. I think that's fine. I think actually would recommend that. Just in the footer. Obi, make sure you read the pinned comment. Yeah, I think it's fine to use templates. I do. For backend people especially, like use a CSS framework, a template. I don't think it really matters, especially if you're backend focused. You're going to be applying for backend focused position. Let's go ahead and look at mobile. I don't know. Now that it's a template, I care much less about looking at this, so we're going to go through it very quickly. 12, yo, that's tiny as fuck. Holy shit. No. Terrible. Increase that. 16. Scroll down. Yeah, if it's, I care much less about this if it's a template. Thanks for pointing that out, by the way. Okay. Cool. Let's go network, do empty cache and hard reload. Let's clear that out. Looks like you have a broken GIF. Or what? Not anymore, apparently. Yeah, I was now much less impressed with the portfolio itself. So we're just kind of skipping through it. 221 hook. Okay. I don't know what libraries you imported in necessarily. Yeah, it really seems like you haven't really dove into React that heavily. I think that's, if you're going to be applying for front end, it'd be a bit weaker with that. But yeah, I'm curious what the next project is going to be. Okay. I don't really have anything else to add. Do you guys have anything else to add? What's up, Yves? You were getting template vibes right off the bat? Yep. But he did mention Figma, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. If, this is your portfolio that I'm reviewing, feel free to comment and let us know if this is a template or not. But, book a one-on-one meet? Okay. I think that's it. I think we're ready for the resume. The point of a portfolio is to showcase your unique and bigger projects. Sometimes an overdone portfolio can take the focus away. Not sure what that is in reference to. But it is to showcase, if you're responding to me saying the portfolio projects are the most important, it is. But I do think like a fairly clean, this is why I recommend like a lot of aspiring developers, if you struggle with design, just go over like basic UX fundamentals. There are articles for it. There's like, Don't Make Me Think is a really good short book to read, and just keep it minimal. Like I'll show you right now. This is what I do. We'll go to like podcast. This is me. I keep it really minimal. I am not good with design. I'm just not. And there's more work I could do. Like I can make this automatically load more podcast episodes and stuff like that. But I don't overcomplicate it. Keep your websites minimal. I think that's completely fine. But like when you show a bunch of like inconsistent positioning and just like weird padding and just bad UX in general, that looks bad. And I think it's worth diving into as a full stack or front end developer to be able to build stuff like that. But you don't need something fancy like this. You don't need to get a template like this. I don't think that's as relevant. Yeah, it doesn't take much. I mean, it'll take some effort to like get it right the first time. But yeah, what's up, Black Jack? How you doing? Here's my take: claiming to be a full stack, but using a template to me is kind of a red flag. But you don't have to be good with design though. That's the thing. It's like a full stack developer is not a designer, and I think a lot of you that like they're substituting design. As a software engineer, I think that's completely fine. In most professional positions, you're not going to be coming up with the design. You're just not. So I don't think that's something that you guys should focus on at all. Yeah. So that's fine if you disagree with me, but I think you guys are putting too much emphasis on coming up with your own design. I don't think that's an expectation of any or most front-end developers even, let alone like full stack developers. Unless you're at like a startup with like 2 or 3 people. All right, let's go ahead and load up the resume. But I think people should try out build your website and kind of just like shift it a little bit. I think it's really good for people to keep it minimal, but like think about the UX as they lay their website out. Not even coming up with a good design, but just like even before you come up with your website, just like, okay, what content exists here that is going to deliver the information I want to deliver based on the user that I know is going to view my website. And even that thought process alone starts to help you become or develop this user-centered mindset around building solutions for people. And that's strong, right? So it's not necessarily like you don't necessarily need to put up a good design or anything like that, but I think even giving it a try, especially with personal projects, I think it can go a long way. Okay, let's load up the resume. All right. This is only like 5 reviews. Holy crap. 4 portfolio reviews and 1 resume review. We're like an hour and a half in at least. An hour and 35 minutes. Well, about an hour and a half. I was a few minutes late today. Okay, here we go. All right, Gene. I appreciate that. Actually, just reject people or resumes that will not exclude this information now. I think I'm going to make it a little bit more clear that I do absolutely want it excluded, because like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I don't care. People contact me, and you got to realize like at least bare minimum 1,000 people are going to see this, and that you're really going to expect no one to be a troll. Like, okay. So I don't even want to take any chances, but damn, that is bold. This looks like a resume for a kid, a child. What? Why is this so bold? Okay, let me just read the content on the page. Stop judging. Don, you're being judgmental. Stop it. You're on the wrong things. Hold on. Let's read the content first. So we have portfolio website. Cool. You spell out the links. Perfect. GitHub, LinkedIn. That's minimum. I don't think these... email at the very least, but I don't think the phone number is relevant. Yeah, actually, yeah. No, that's fine. Front-end web developer, so focus on front-end. Focus space. GitHub link. So you have your GitHub. So I think it's okay to have direct links like this when you spell out your portfolio and you have your GitHub spelled out up here. I think it's okay to not spell it out here. So GitHub link. Live, maybe? Live project? I don't know if I would put link. Like, what is the link? This contrast is poor. Like, you're switching it up, I guess, but... Okay, time management platform to improve productivity while studying working. Used React to create a responsive web design. Website. Stop calling your websites web designs with good practices. That just shows ignorance, that you don't really know the difference between web design and even web development. With good practices and good performance, this is, who cares? Build with React, just put React. And then like, so you used React for this, and then you implemented data structure and data visualization. What data structure specifically? This seems interesting, it makes it unique, but what? I guess we could click into it, but tell me what it is, because this seems like an impressive project. Maybe. Gene portfolio. Okay, this is an empty resume, essentially. That's why you're bolding it and making it so large. Got it. Okay, you have one project. Who gives a fuck about your portfolio? User-friendly UI, UX, created... Like, you have your portfolio up here. So, like, here's the thing. If you have to list your portfolio as one of your projects, you need to keep coding. Like I say, once you get your first project up, that's great. You start applying, you get a little bit of exposure to the interview process. And you never know if a company's just like, you know what, I really love this project, or there's something about your personality. You never know, right? That's why you start applying. You put in a few applications a week. But this is just a really, like, kind of surface level portfolio. You haven't really spent a lot of time learning. It seems, well, maybe you spent too much time learning and not enough time on the project work itself. But it's kind of just seems like you just started coding for the most part. Tailwind. So your only project, I guess you could have used Tailwind here. Like, if you're aiming for a front-end developer, do not lean on just Tailwind. If I see like one main project and I see Tailwind, I assume you're going to use Tailwind for this, not CSS. And it's going to make me a little bit, it's going to question like if you're going to stumble without Tailwind. Next.js, you're using Next. Okay, so you have limited routing, or you have opinionated routing. You have a blend of backend and a front end, which makes me think you probably won't even be able to distinguish between the two, right? Next.js has its own native things. Can you even distinguish between the native features of Next.js with React? This seems like you're just very surface level right now, which is fine, but I like very, very amateurish right now. No depth of project work whatsoever, no depth of knowledge. Education, front-end masters, cool, front-end masters, introduction and next, okay. Yeah. Okay, just normal, default font. You don't need to enlarge all this. You're pretty much just doing this to fill the space, and it's because you don't really have anything. So keep building. Keep building on top of this if you really want to, and you could expand on this. You get a user base behind it. That could be impressive. Like, you build a real SaaS product, you could literally have one project that you just highlight, and you're going to have a lot more bullet points. You're going to show quantitative data to show kind of like, you know, growth in the problem that you're actually trying to solve. And, I mean, providing monetary revenue, providing, or if it's free, providing like usage statistics, that's huge, right? So you could double down on this project for sure, or just, you know, start working on other projects. And then you could decrease the font, make it a little bit more normal, and you don't have to do this. I don't know why you keep switching to black to gray. It just makes the contrast worse. Like, you could put parentheses. I don't know if I'd put a parenthesis here, but I think like I would need to see the font decreased in kind of just like a normal resume format that isn't blown up. Like, you just like, I don't know, I guess I'm picturing like a kid's menu at a restaurant. I don't even think this is a good reference. I don't even know what the hell I'm thinking about, but I picture a kid's menu in a restaurant with everything blown up. And so it just like kind of excites a kid, and everything is in the kid's face. And it's like, then you see pictures, and you see pictures of like a giant bowl of macaroni and cheese. I don't know why I think of that when I see this, but this is why I called it a kid's resume. Does that make sense? Like, do you connect the dots in your head when I talk about a kid's recipe menu and this? It's just missing the Nuggies link. Yes, Nuggies. Ooh. Gotta love some Nuggies. Different format would definitely work. It makes sense. Okay, thank you. I'm not going crazy with that. Let me just see what you guys mentioned. Is it fine to list it as experience instead of project? No, you're bullshitting. It's a flat out lie. Like, I like, if you want to put experience and then make it clear that it's a project, I think that's completely fine. But if it's not a professional project, no. Like, if it's not at a professional company, you weren't building a product or any sort of project at a professional company, anything like that. Like, even with freelancing, you're going to make it clear that it was freelancing. Yeah, and I think this person's just starting out. That's what it feels like. TypeScript versus TypeScript, same with JavaScript. Yeah, that's a good point. At least they didn't use Comic Sans. Yes, I agree with that. All good, Daniel. All good. Congrats on the 40K. I was in the 35K portfolio, and you gave some useful advice that helped me land my first job in the tech industry. That's awesome, Ulysses. That's really cool. I appreciate, like, I do have people that'll email me and share that stuff, even just like in DMs and private. So I do appreciate, like, if I gave you advice and it does help you, seriously, it kind of provides that motivation to keep going. So thank you for sharing that. What's up, Wingcat? Oh, no, Miles, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. All right. Thanks for joining us either way. Would a tasteful meme help you stick out? That's, like, hugely dependent. I don't know. Most likely not, but I'd have to see it. All right, that's pretty much it. We're done. We are done. This is a longer stream than I expected for 5 reviews and like 4 portfolio reviews in one project. I spent some time on this one. But anyways, I appreciate everyone chilling, hanging out here. Hopefully this advice was helpful. I know a lot of people kind of just hear the advice and are like, oh, you know what? I'm kind of doing this one thing. Maybe I should switch it up, or doing this one thing and it's working really well. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hope it was helpful. I'm going to keep it public, so you're welcome to review it. And I'll probably email the submission owners at some point, probably today or tomorrow, maybe later today. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So tomorrow we're going to be doing a reaction stream to a blog post. And I want to start doing more of those. I think they're fun, and hell, they are low effort, but they're also really fun, which is why I want to try them. So there's a Discord event that actually links the article we're going to be reacting to in tomorrow's live stream. And then Thursday at 5 p.m. Central Time, we're going to do a live Q&A. So if you do have questions, you do have blockers about becoming a web developer, that is the time to ask. So I do appreciate most of you staying on topic for this stream. And that's it. Thank you, everyone. Good luck in all of your projects, and happy coding, everyone. Take care.